Hey guys, today I'm doing a non-spoiler review on My Parents Are Aliens, which is a British children's TV sitcom that aired for 8 seasons on ITV. It follows the lives of three orphaned children, Mel, Josh, and Lucy Barker, who get adopted by Brian and Sophie Johnson, who are actually aliens, who crash landed on Earth from the planet Valux. Brian and Sophie have trouble adjusting to the local culture, and so this series follows their journey while Mel, Josh, and Lucy try to get accustomed to having aliens for parents. So if you've watched the show, check out my reaction on the show because I've talked about best moments, best characters, and yeah, had a really good time making that one. So do check that one out. I'll leave a card up above. I'm going to start now, so make sure to like and subscribe. So it was weird because this is like when I first watched, I was very confused. It was very confusing because I was very confused about what it was about. But I eventually got it and I understood the story, and it's basically like I said before, these two aliens who crash landed and who adopt these three children, these three siblings. And it's one of the best sitcoms I've watched. I mean, I haven't watched a whole lot, but it's really good. It's what I like about it is the fact that you just never know what's gonna happen. Like something crazy could happen one day. One of these characters, like Brian, or well, let's say Brian, which was one of the aliens, and his wife Sophie. At one of those days, they could become a baby because they can morph. Or one day they might decide to invite like some people from a retired home over. Like it's completely crazy. Like you can never keep up with what it is. And I think that's one of the best things about it. The fact that the storyline is continually changing. And yeah, but the most important thing about this show that's really kept me hooked onto it, well, apart from the last season, which I will talk about a little at the end, was the characters. Like Brian and Sophie. They are honestly, the whole cast did an amazing job on the show. And we've had quite a lot of characters, like supporting characters as well, but also the main family. Like Brian has to be my favorite, but they're all so great. Like they all play like quite a different role. They all have a different personality. So Brian is the dad, and he's an alien, and he loves his family, but he's of course he doesn't understand the culture. He doesn't understand what's going on. Like he doesn't understand like what a homeless person is. He thinks that's a job, but we know it isn't. And then yeah, he gets into loads of different troubles just because he doesn't really understand, and also because he just wants to be loved. This is a big recurring theme, and yeah, and then Sophie's pretty much the same, except she really has got that motherly feel about her. Like she really does care for her children. I'm not saying that Brian doesn't, but you really do get to see that. Like she tries, but sometimes she takes it overboard, like one step too far. Like there was a moment when Lucy was stressed and she became like, she was saying stress is good for you, do 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 do, and at the end, of course, she learns that she was wrong. But yeah, and then Mel, which she's the oldest Barker sibling, and she really loves her family. She she had to look after them while they were having to deal with after losing their parents, and then also the fact that they were kept being fostered and then being sent back to the children's home and back and forth. And she keeps up this really like this. She keeps up a wall so that she protects herself, so she doesn't really get emotional. But when we see her get emotional, like really feel it, like yeah. And then Josh just comes up with schemes. Like he is very smart in that sense. Like he can come up with some money grabbing scheme like very quickly, and they all fail for one reason or another. And he manages to actually get Sophie and Brian involved as well, which is amazing. And Lucy, well, she's a scientist and she's the baby of the family. And And she has that really nice bond with Brian, who also loves science and chess, which is also Lucy's interest. And we also get other characters as well, like Lucy, oh, sorry, like CJ and Harry and Howie and quite a few other characters. But yeah, this show is just really good. Like, it's something that I really enjoyed watching, like when I came back from school, like putting on the TV, CITV, and just watching it and just seeing this whole family and seeing what adventure they'll get into today. And what I liked is that every single member in the family sort of had like some sort of adventure. Like, it was maybe Sophie going to night school, or maybe Brian learning about the Romans. Like, there was always some sort of adventure, and that was amazing. Now, the only thing I had a problem with this show was season 8. So season 7 marked the end with the Barker family and this whole and all the sort of associated characters with them. And then season 8 was sort of like a reboot, but not really, because it was a continual sort of thing. And I wouldn't recommend season 8. So give that a skip. I don't want to say too much. I watched one episode, but I really just couldn't get into it because it felt like they were trying to copy like all the Barker siblings. So like they were trying to copy it, and it just wasn't working. Because when you've grown to love something, it's really hard to get used to the change, which is a common recurring problem for me. But anyway, not talking about that. So yeah, skip that, but just make sure to watch season 1 to season 7. Maybe give season 8 a try because you might like it. But yeah, it's a really good sitcom. It's nice getting to see these characters, getting to see the trouble they get into, and also getting to see these kids grow up, which is crazy because it was for over 7 seasons. So we get to see them like when they're quite little, well, not quite little, but like when they're younger, and then we get to see them all the way when they're grown up, and we get to see how their personalities change and everything. So yeah, I would say this is like one of the best sitcoms I've watched, and this is one that you know, as a child, I really enjoyed watching. I was watching a couple yesterday night, and I just couldn't stop laughing. It's amazing that it still makes me laugh. It just goes to show that this is one that you can watch at any age, but definitely show these to your kids. Watch these if you want a sitcom. And that ends my non-spoiler review today on My Parents Are Aliens. If you've seen the show, let me know down below, along with what your favorite episodes, moments, characters, etc. were. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with our content. And do make sure to check out our social media and our website. Yeah, you've got tons of different stuff there. We've got debate, we've got more reviews, you've got reactions, and also do make sure to check out the reaction on My Parents Aliens if you've seen it, or if you just want to find out a bit more about how I found the show. Like, there are going to be a few more spoilers in there, so be aware, be warned. And games and pranks, and there's quite a lot of stuff, so do check it out. And that's it for today. So we'll see you next time. Bye.